So the WNBA media it's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing.
The Indiana Fever made with Caitlin Clark's presence on the court is undeniable.
So you're basically saying the Fever are going to be in the exact same position as they were last year. The Fever at 5, though. How are the Storm over the Fever?
Just 2 minutes ago, the WNBA did it again. Another blatant attack on Caitlin Clark, and this time, they're not even hiding it. From power rankings that make zero sense to a media narrative filled with double standards and jealousy, it's clear. Someone wants her silenced. But why?
Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark have done and said the same things. They're both really good people and they both want to promote the game. But they are promoting Paige Beckers for saying exactly what Caitlin Clark has said plenty of times.
Why is the most talked about name in women's basketball being treated like a problem instead of a breakthrough? Today, we break down the disrespect, the lies, and the ugly truth the WNBA doesn't want you to see. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will make your blood boil.
Something that I think is absolutely disgusting. And again, this isn't exactly WNBA media. However, it is the side when they're like it's the activist league people that in fact are doing the opposite. All these networks, all these publications, all these things in media, you got to be smart.
The WNBA just dropped its official preseason power rankings. And somehow, despite all the hype, all the talent, and all the growth the Indiana Fever have shown, they ranked them 5th. 5th. Let that sink in.
Yeah, I thought it was electric. It's what you've seen, whether it's from the outside on television or being here broadcasting, but to actually feel the energy.
Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's basketball right now, the rookie breaking viewership records, selling out arenas, and drawing millions of new fans to the league. And they place her team behind franchises that actually got worse in the offseason. Behind the Seattle Storm, a team that lost key players and struggled with injuries. This isn't analysis. This is a statement, and it's loud and clear. They don't want Caitlin Clark to win.
Honestly, I was really excited to just get out there and play, and especially getting to do it for the first time this season in front of these fans was really cool for myself. And just seeing the amount of people, and young girls and young boys that stand there and scream for me to sign their stuff, I don't take that for granted. That's so cool. I would be lying to you if I thought that was just normal and everybody gets to do that. They don't. So I'm glad I can be a role model for them, and they have a great impact on me too.
And it doesn't stop there. The media is piling on too. The moment Clark's name climbed to the top of MVP betting odds, reporters started flipping the script. One even called it disrespectful to mention her in the same breath as seasoned WNBA veterans, despite praising other young players for far less. And let's not forget how Paige Beckers says something about uplifting women in the sport, and she's applauded. But when Caitlin says the same thing, crickets, or worse, backlash. This isn't just about rankings. It's a pattern, and it's happening in real time.
There's no way the Fever did not get better than one team that were better than last year.
Let's talk about the lies, because that's exactly what's happening, a carefully crafted narrative meant to downplay Caitlin Clark's impact and twist the public's perception of her. Every time she makes headlines for breaking records or inspiring young fans, someone in the media or league insiders find a way to spin it negatively. It's no longer about what she's done. It's about what they want you to think she's done.
I think that the Fever have so much going for them that it's going to be hard to say you only improved this much. Not buying it.
Take this, for example. When Caitlin publicly supports her teammates, respects her opponents, and elevates the game, it gets ignored. But when someone doesn't like her tone, or she's seen standing next to the wrong person suddenly, she's labeled a villain. They act like she's some media-manufactured figure instead of what she actually is, a hard-working, record-breaking athlete who has brought more attention to the WNBA than anyone in decades.
I feel like one of the biggest things in that area was just getting to know and getting to play with Caitlin. I think Caitlin plays such a fast-paced game, and for me, I feel like the year before that, it wasn't as fast, and then coming in kind of having that same expectation of the way that we played the year before, and then coming in and Caitlin loves to play really fast, so I think that was definitely the adjustment. But, I think knowing that and having that mindset just helped in the offseason because I know exactly where I need to be.
Then there's the media double standard. When Paige Beckers, another talented player, speaks on social issues, she's praised. Articles are written, clips go viral, the applause is loud. But when Caitlin Clark says the exact same thing, She's either erased from the conversation or accused of trying to make it about herself. The hypocrisy isn't just obvious, it's insulting.
Yeah, I thought it was electric. It's what you've seen, whether it's from the outside on television or being here broadcasting, but to actually feel the energy.
Oh, shocked me. I mean, I didn't know what the percentage breakdown of Fever gear and Iowa gear would be, but it felt pretty equal. But I just didn't know what to expect, so that was fun to see.
And what about the silence around the Antonio Brown scandal? When disgusting images of Caitlyn were leaked, where was the league's outrage? Where were the powerful voices who claimed to stand for women in sports? Not only did they stay quiet, some even blocked fans who asked them to speak up. Meanwhile, those same voices are quick to attack Caitlyn for the smallest association with someone they don't approve of. This isn't protection. This is selective activism.
Something that I think is absolutely disgusting. And again, this isn't exactly WNBA media. However, it is the side when they're like it's the activist league people that in fact are doing the opposite. All these networks, all these publications, all these things in media, you got to be smart.
They say she doesn't belong, that she hasn't earned it yet. But let's get real, Caitlyn Clark is the reason many people even know about the WNBA this year. She's not a distraction, she's the draw. And the fact that some are working overtime to push lies about her says more about their fear than her flaws. What's happening to Caitlyn Clark right now isn't just unfair, it's calculated. It's not just about rankings or media snubs anymore. This is about a pattern of lies, misrepresentations, and double standards that are being used to twist her image into something it's not.
We just saw somebody basically say that they were scared to go to Iowa. And are these people not embarrassed saying that? Is Aja Wilson has said it as well about Indiana. Is Aja Wilson not embarrassed? Because the vast majority of fans that go to Caitlyn Clark games.
The media machine has found its newest target, and it's the same young woman who's selling out arenas, breaking television ratings, and bringing in millions of new fans to the WNBA. Instead of being embraced, Caitlyn Clark is being treated like a threat. Every achievement is minimized. Every quote is dissected. Every moment of success is followed by a backlash. And the scary part? It's not just trolls or internet drama, it's coming from people inside the league. People with influence. People who claim to support women's basketball, yet go silent or spin the truth when it comes to her.
The main thing is the sport of basketball and growing the sport of basketball. That has to be a prerequisite for future hires. Because I'm never going to say someone should be fired. I know other people are going to go out and say that, but I don't feel comfortable going out on the internet saying that. All I'm going to say is there's going to be so many people losing their jobs.
Take the recent MVP chatter. The second Caitlyn's name rose to the top of the MVP betting odds, the moment the world began acknowledging her real impact. Certain media figures rushed in with outrage. One journalist, who openly covers NCAA women's basketball, flipped almost instantly. Not long ago, she was outraged that Aja Wilson wasn't a unanimous MVP pick. But now, she says it's disrespectful that Caitlyn Clark is even being considered in the same conversation. Think about that. It's not about fairness, it's about gatekeeping. And it doesn't stop at the MVP debate. Paige Buchers, another respected player, has rightfully been celebrated when she speaks about uplifting Black women in the sport. She deserves that praise. But here's the catch: when Caitlyn Clark echoes those same sentiments, showing respect and unity for her fellow athletes, it gets swept under the rug. Or worse, it's twisted into something ugly. She's accused of trying to steal attention, accused of being performative. The message is loud. She's not allowed to be seen as a leader.
They're going to promote Paige Beckers as some say. Paige Beckers and Caitlyn Clark have done and said the same things. They're both really good people and they both want to promote the game. But they are promoting Paige Beckers for saying exactly what Caitlyn Clark has said plenty of times.
CC, one word to describe today.
Only one word. Unreal.
Even more disturbing is the silence when she's the victim. When former NFL player Antonio Brown posted leaked and disturbing images of Caitlyn online, something that should have triggered outrage across the entire sports world, the WNBA stayed quiet. The league's leaders didn't issue a statement. Influential voices didn't speak up. And some, like South Carolina coach Dawn Staley, even blocked fans who called them out for continuing to follow Brown on social media. Imagine that. A young woman violated and humiliated online, and the people who claim to stand for women's empowerment looked the other way. This isn't just disappointing, it's a betrayal. Because while Caitlin Clark is being picked apart for every move she makes, others are being protected, even when they stay silent in the face of real harm. And it exposes a deep hypocrisy at the heart of this issue. The same media outlets and personalities who claim to care about growing the game are actively working to silence the very person who is doing exactly that.
The Fever can finish anywhere, 5 on the low side. I think this team offensively is going to be dynamic and spectacular. I've got them at the number 2 seed, just blindly, eyes closed, if the schedule doesn't break their way.
Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be the face of women's basketball. She earned it through her hard work, her talent, and her undeniable impact. But instead of being celebrated, she's being slandered. Instead of being protected, she's being punished. And the lies being spread about her, they're not just unfair, they're dangerous. So the question that's echoing in every fan's mind right now is, why? Why is Caitlin Clark, a player who's done nothing but elevate the game, being targeted so relentlessly? The answer isn't simple. It's not just about basketball. It's about ego, politics, and a league that seems torn between growing with the times and clinging to an outdated sense of control.
You can see with your eyes that what they're saying is wrong, but they're going to continue to push it. They're going to continue to push it. They're going to continue to push to try make this 23-year-old woman now.
Caitlin Clark has done more for women's basketball in a year than some franchises have in a decade. That's not an exaggeration. It's backed by numbers. She's shattered viewership records. She's turned meaningless preseason games into must-watch TV. Her jersey sales rival top NBA stars, and her name alone brings media coverage the league has never seen before. She's a phenomenon, but instead of embracing that, the league and parts of the media seem determined to diminish it. Why?
Obviously, he's working with college sports, and right now has since privated their Twitter and made sure nobody knows where they work. Because I think so many people in women's basketball media are going to lose their jobs because they have Twitter fingers.
Because she's not their chosen one. In a league still finding its identity, there's a power struggle, and Caitlin threatens it. She wasn't brought up through the right channels. She doesn't play for the politically correct crowd, and she's not afraid to speak her truth. She didn't wait for permission. She forced the spotlight with talent, grit, and charisma. And that kind of raw stardom scares people, especially in a space where narratives have long been carefully controlled. There's also jealousy. Let's be honest, when a rookie walks in and instantly becomes the face of your league, not everyone's going to like it. Veteran players feel overshadowed. Coaches feel pressured. Media figures who spent years building certain stars don't want to see someone new dominate the conversation. So instead of celebrating what Caitlin brings, they look for reasons to tear her down, to question her credibility, to dismiss her as a media creation.
I mean, he was arrested for a pretty bad... I don't know anything more about that, but there was the whole news thing about the guy getting arrested for a pretty bad crime. And Dawn Staley does not care. And anyone who mentions the Dawn Staley gets blocked.
But perhaps the most disturbing reason is this. She doesn't fit the mold. The league has spent years building its identity around activism and community, which is powerful and important. But somewhere along the line, they forgot that excellence and charisma are also revolutionary. Caitlin Clark is changing the landscape not by being political, but by being phenomenal. And for some, that's not the kind of revolution they wanted, so they resist it. They paint her as an outsider, as if she doesn't belong, when in reality, she's the reason more people than ever are finally paying attention.
Because she was posting negative things about the Sky. And I mean, she was posting things like free agents don't want to go there because of their facilities, and Satu Sabali did not want to go to Chicago Sky.
And here's the real tragedy. Instead of uniting around her success, the league is sending a message you can lead, but only if we approve of the way you do it. That's not empowerment. That's control. Caitlin Clark is being targeted because she represents a shift in power, in popularity, and in perception. And there are people in the system who aren't ready to let go of the old ways, even if it means tearing down the very person lifting the league to new heights.
Whoa. The Indiana Fever at number 5. That feels like a shot to the heart.
The truth is clear. Caitlin Clark is not the problem. She's the reason people are watching. She's the spark this league needed. But instead of support, she's being met with silence, jealousy, and spin. If the WNBA keeps pushing her down, they're not just disrespecting her, they're pushing away the fans who came to support the game because of her.
The Indiana Fever at number 5. That feels like a shot to the heart.
The fact that you're seeing people in the media calling out everyone that's even close to a player they don't like. When it suits them, Aaliyah Boston, the South Carolina fans don't even treat Aaliyah Boston like she's a alum just because she happens to play for the Indiana Fever and doesn't call out the fan base all the time.
So here's the real message to the league, the media, and the haters. You don't have to love her, but you better start respecting her because the fans already do. If you're tired of the fake narratives and want real talk on Caitlin Clark and women's basketball, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. This story's not over, and we're just getting started.